She was convinced that to claim her prize from Spain, she had to pay a fee, a tariff, a tax, and she almost wiped out her savings. Now, she didn't want to go on camera with us. She's embarrassed. She's afraid. But she also owes a debt of gratitude to a perfect stranger. Playing a foreign lottery here in the U.S. through the mail or over the phone is against federal law. And if you do buy one foreign lottery ticket, expect many more bogus offers. It's your job to protect yourself and keep yourself off that infamous so-called sucker list. Priscilla Ress, Target 7.
Hey, this is a 911 call. What's going on?
Last night we showed you an emergency dispatcher under fire for mishandling a 911 call. Did she botch the job? State police say no. I'm Priscilla Ress. News 10 investigates, coming up next.
Priscilla Ress tells us the criticism of the way the call was handled cuts to the core of the 911 debate.
That's right, Terry and Elisa. The question is, who should handle emergency cell phone calls, state police or local law enforcement? But the bottom line is, if you're making that call, you're relying on a dispatcher to get help to the right place in time.
And Priscilla, we understand that closing the business today was a preemptive strike.
Well, Lisa, it is preemptive because tomorrow morning a Vermont attorney goes before a judge asking him to put the debt reduction law firm into involuntary bankruptcy. That's so a trustee can take control of its assets. So meanwhile, we've got employees who are out of work, and as you can see behind me, the lights are out, the firm is closed, and these 40 employees have no job tomorrow morning. Lisa, the sex offenders who appear on that registry are considered the most dangerous and the most likely to attack again. That's why the registry was created, to let you know where they are. But the sex offender registry is only as good as the information that's on it.
The world was turned into a nightmare.
Guilty to 1 pound of sodomy.
Jeopardized my children's lives. Why?
These are level 3 sex offenders, considered the most dangerous, the most likely to attack again, and they are out from behind bars. But where are they? On this day in early January, we went online to look at the state's sex offender registry. On it, we found not one, but 2 level 3 sex offenders living here at the Robin Hood Motel in Saratoga Springs. Are you Carl Stevens? My name is Priscilla Ress, and I'm here to be sure the people who say that they're on the registry are living where they say that they're living. Carl Stevens, convicted of having sex with a minor in 1997. Should I be afraid of you? Should I be afraid?
No.
Should I be afraid to have my children staying in this motel where you're staying?
Not one bit.
The other person listed on the sex offender registry is living at the motel, level 3 sex offender Matthew Brown. He's not here. I'm looking for this guy, Matthew Brown.
Oh, yeah, he was living here. As far as I know, he went back and lived with his mother.
Lieutenant Michael Zerlo is in charge of the sex offender registry for Saratoga County.
The information we have as of this point, he's still at the Robin Hood until he physically comes in and does a change of address with me, indicating that he's living with his parents. Then the information is correct.
Wallace and Yvonne Whalen run the motel. They say they were never told that Matthew Brown was convicted of raping a 5-year-old.
I have my grandson that stays here with me all the time.
And they say there are families with children who stay at the motel. So if child rapist Matthew Brown is listed on the sex offender registry, why weren't these people told?
Anybody that's convicted prior to 1996 under the federal injunction is privileged information that is not released.
In this case, Lieutenant Zerlo is wrong. Once a sex offender appears on the sex offender registry, there is nothing stopping local law enforcement, in this case the Saratoga Sheriff's Department, from notifying the public.
Makes me feel real sick.
We continued our check. Level 3 sex offender Richard Borden. It says he lives at 4000 Main Street in Troy. That's the county jail. He was released from jail in November. Level 3 sex offender Thomas Davis says here he lives at 156 Quail Street in Albany.
Is this him?
Yeah, that's him.
And he's not here anymore?
He's been here since last year. Florida. That's where he is. Absolutely.
Level 3 sex offender Lloyd Maloney. It says he lives on 281 10th Avenue in Troy. There is no 281 10th Avenue. Level 3 sex offender Justin Patterson says he lives on 8 Swan Street in Green Island. Can you tell me if Justin Patterson lives here?
No, I know he lives in Compose. I know he lives with his sister. We told him to live here.
For those of you in Massachusetts, you cannot view that state sex offender registry online. You've got to go directly to your local police department. Now, for our Capital Region viewers, if you want to access the registry, we've provided the link at WTEN.com.
C911, state police. Go ahead, sir. All right. Fulton County, New York. Broad Auburn, New York.
Excuse me?
Fulton County, New York.
I can't hear you, sir.
Town of Broad Auburn.
Town of where?
Broad Auburn.
Where is that, sir?
In Fulton County.
Broad Auburn?
Yes, Fulton County. This is a 911 call. What's going on?
Ben Sturgis driving home one summer day in Broad Auburn, New York.
I heard a gentleman screaming. He was screaming at the top of his lungs. And I stopped the car. He came around his house. And he's saying, please help me, please help me. His elbows were bleeding. He had no eyebrows. His hair was burned 3/4 of the way back on his head, and his legs were burnt.
Spray paint fumes caught fire, then exploded. Ben Sturgis's neighbor was still smoldering when he ran into the street. Ben grabbed his Nextel phone and dialed 911.
Okay, you have Plattsburgh, New York. What can I help you?
Fulton County, honey. This guy's burnt.
Sir?
Fulton County. Fulton.
Sir?
Fulton County Sheriff Department.
More than 30 seconds have passed.
As soon as she heard Fulton County, she should have said, I'm going to transfer this to Fulton County.
When we first talked with state police a couple of months ago, they told us they were satisfied with the way their dispatcher handled the call and refused an on-camera interview. So we went to Fulton County Sheriff Thomas Laurie and 911 Supervisor Lieutenant Garth Hillier.
Okay, what's the problem, sir?
A guy is burned very badly. He's dying here.
Where's this at,
He's in
sir?
the ambulance.
Okay, where, sir, where at?
391 Ridge Road, Broad Auburn.
Ridge Road?
Ridge Road.
Broad Auburn?
Excuse me, Bogdan Road.
Bogdan Road?
More than a minute has passed and the state police dispatcher still has not contacted Fulton County, still has not dispatched an ambulance.
Broad Auburn.
Can you spell that for me, please?
B-R-O-A-D-A-L-B-I-N.
D-I-N.
B-I-N, as in boy.
B-I-N.
Right, Broad Auburn.
Broad Baldwin. Do you know what he's burned from?
No, I do not.
Her call should have ended probably within a minute once she handed it off to us. And we would have done all the rest of the stuff.
How did you get him? Okay, we have somebody else just call 911.
You got 911 going?
911's on its way? Yes, it is.
The state police dispatcher didn't verify with Fulton County that there was an ambulance on the way. Then she proceeds with a litany of questions.
Okay. Do you know how old he is?
That's 4 minutes into the call. And what is the state police dispatcher doing with that information?
She didn't even relay it to our dispatchers.
And listen to this exchange when she does decide it's time to call Fulton County and has to find the phone number.
Hey, it's the state police. Do you have a phone number for Fulton County 911?
Who got the phone? Fulton County?
Yeah. Do you have a direct phone number for me?
Yeah.
I have a guy that's burnt, so I need to call down there to verify they have an ambulance en route.
Sheriff's Office, Tomlinson.
Here in Fulton County, there are always 2 to 4 dispatchers on duty, 1 to take the call and at least 1 to dispatch emergency help. And when the state police dispatcher does contact Fulton County 6.5 minutes later...
Do you have an ambulance en route to 391 Ridge Road?
I have one en route to 391 Bogdan Road.
Bogdan Road?
Town of Broad Auburn?
Yes.
For a burn injury?
Yes. I have a gentleman on a cell phone that's with him, 50 feet away from him.
He says he's on Ridge Road?
Well, that's what this guy told me, but it's probably Bogdan Road.
7 minutes, 20 seconds later, she connects Ben Sturgis with Fulton County.
Sir? Sir? I have Fulton County 911 on the line.
I don't know that the state police is well prepared to be in the dispatching business.
Actually, I believe the call was handled quite well, given the circumstances of what happened.
You know, I was born with my disability.
John Chimarusti competing on the UNM campus for a handicap parking spot.
Sometimes it is hard. Luckily, there's one spot left when I got here. Young lady 2 cars down just grabbed his spot right before me.
In the lot where John finally found his spot, every car has a handicap placard.
It was actually given to me.
Given to you by whom?
By a friend of mine.
So you're not handicapped?
That's actually none of your business.
Which one of these did you check off to get your handicap placard? Cannot walk 100 feet?
No.
Cannot walk without the use of
I
a...
borrowed my grandma's because I was late this morning.
This woman tells me it is her right to park here. But it's not your placard.
No. But it's the only vehicle in the family, so, you know.
So you took the placard and parked in a handicapped spot here, but that's not what the handicap placard's for.
No, I took the car.
But you parked in a handicapped parking space and you're not handicapped, right?
I am handicapped. It depends on how you would define it.
Here's how the state defines it. If you meet the following criteria, you can get a permit that allows you to have a placard. You can't walk 100 feet without stopping for a rest. Can't walk without a brace, a cane, or crutch. You have a severe cardiac condition. You've lost one or both of your legs. And if students using someone else's handicap placard to get a spot sounds familiar, it should.
Every day, it's always a challenge to find a parking space.
That's from a University of New Mexico student interviewed 2 years ago for a Target 7 report about students using someone else's handicap placard to score prime parking.
It's my brother's. He's handicapped.
So why do we see the same problem?
Our parking enforcement officers can ticket vehicles, not people.
That's part of the problem. Unlike your license plate, which is issued to your vehicle, the state issues handicap placards to an individual to make it easy to take the placard from one car to another. But the placard doesn't have any picture identification, so you don't really know if the placard belongs to the driver.
And our officers don't have the authority to confront individuals.
The way we did. Well, then why are you in a handicapped parking space? Going up to students and asking was the only way of verifying the placard. What about this identification number on the placard? That information is not available in the state data bank.
And I wish there was more we could do about it.
Each placard comes with a permit, which the owner must carry. One solution, a picture ID on the permit.
If you were to ask somebody, or law enforcement to ask them to see it, they could see not only the placard number, they could match that up, but they could also match the photo to the individual.
In the meantime, the disabled will still have to compete for what is rightfully theirs. How do you think your grandmother would feel about you using her handicap placard? Or maybe some of your other classmates who are really handicapped?
What offends me is they don't understand what it's like having a challenge.
Priscilla Ress, Target 7.